You are listening to the 3 Count podcast and you just made the list. Welcome to the show. Benny is here with me as always. Ben Hobden, I'm Dylan Chambers, and it's time for our little podcast to evolve. And we are going to delve into the world of AEW and preview All Out. Benny, how are you?
Good, Dill. Good. How are you, mate? Still in lockdown, still struggling, but we're getting there.
We are. Plenty of wrestling to watch, luckily.
Thank goodness. Yeah, every day these days, it's good.
Yeah, that's right. We've got
now that we've branched out.
Moved on, evolved. Now, we had our best numbers for watching and listening to the podcast this week. So thank you all so much. Make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, you hit that subscribe button. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure you keep getting your doses of the 3 Count podcast.
We really love the support, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. There's maybe a few things in the works, so stay tuned. But it's going very well, and we appreciate all the support. We've got a great show lined up for you tonight. We're going to take you through the card of All Out, give you our predictions, and then we're going to have a bit of a fun a bit later with another 3 Count draft. We're going to draft our dream AEW versus WWE pay-per-view card. A bit of invasion style booking, if you will.
I'm not going to stuff it up this time, Dill. I'm not going to stuff. I gave it away last time.
Level-headed.
I'm all good. I've got this down pat.
Yeah, so we're gonna pick the best matches that we can think of between AEW and WWE talent. But first, what's been going on in the world of wrestling, Benny?
Mate, we've had a few things going on. It's sort of one of those weeks where I was looking for a few things. The main news that stood out was the new Nxt logo incoming. It was different. It obviously aired on Raw last week. It said it was incoming. Very different. I don't know what to think of it. I don't know if they were going. I thought it must have been like Pride Month or something like that. That's what they were going for. But then that's just going to be the new logo, and I don't mind it. I think it looks good. It's colourful, but it's just different completely what we're used to.
There's no more black and gold anymore.
Yeah, and then it might also coincide with the fact that Triple H is on the out, and Vince and Bruce Pritchard are taking over the booking.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So I don't know what's going on there. It's going to still be a few weeks away, but I did see a few funny memes of Triple H talking to Steph, and he's like, "Stuff this, Steph. I'm out. I'm going to AEW," and stuff like that. So, what else have we got?
I did see in regards to NXT too that the title songs by Wale, who's a big WWE fan. So that should be interesting. Right.
Well, yeah. It also apparently WWE are going to be moving away from indie wrestlers and stuff. They want to get some homegrown talent. They want to build it, only have like 20-year-olds, around 20-year-olds, and sort of build it up that way.
Typical. I heard that and I thought, just typical Vince. He wants to find the guys that he likes the look of and then teach them to be wrestlers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he'll just get these big guys and then just bring them up. And at least if Vince is doing it from NXT up, then he won't be shoveling them straight out the door once they come to the main card.
Yeah, good idea.
Burying them like he usually does. What else do we have? Riddle's comments. Did you see Riddle's comments about?
I didn't.
So he's come out and said that Roman Reigns isn't moving the needle at all. And if he really wants to fight him, he could beat him up in real life. So he should shut his mouth, and Arcade Bro are the ones that are moving the needle.
Interesting.
So that's a bit of backstage heat there. I don't know what's going on with that.
Big call from someone on the Raw roster.
Yeah, I don't know if it was, but this, I think it's not even. I think this is kayfabe. That was a proper shoot. So I don't know. It's interesting. What else have we got? Lesnar's deal meant to go through WrestleMania 39. 8 matches guaranteed, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
We got him for 2 years essentially. Well, a year and a half.
Gonna be around for a while.
That'll be good. What else have we got? WrestleMania as well is going to be split over 2 nights again next year. WrestleMania 38. It was only scheduled for 1 night, but they've changed their mind. They're going to change it. So 2 nights of WrestleMania. So what's that? Another 10 hours worth, I guess.
Yeah.
Should be interesting. What else happened? Did you watch Raw this week? Raw was interesting. Nia and Charlotte. Have you seen this match?
I have heard about what went on. I actually didn't watch Raw this week. One of the first Raws I haven't watched in a long time, and it sounded like I picked the right one to miss.
You definitely did, man. Definitely. The only good thing to come out of it was Nia versus Charlotte. It was a bit of a botch. Standard. Nia dropped Charlotte on her head, as we're so used to. And next thing you know, Charlotte just come at her, started slapping her, full punches, just full shoot into each other. Then Nia just picked her up and tossed her again, and it was on. Like, it was literally on. And the ref sort of calmed them down, and then finally they finished the match. And Nia actually went over clean, which was surprising. But yeah, so there's could be something. Apparently, when they got backstage, they wanted to drop it. That was it. They're all happy with it. Nothing else to come of it or anything else. But I don't know. They definitely butted heads, to say the least.
They literally did work it out in the ring.
Yeah, definitely. So that's interesting. And then moving on, that's all the really WWE stuff I've got for you. AEW, the viewership for Rampage was down quite a bit this week. Obviously, it was on TNT. Obviously, not anybody who subscribes to anything else, but it was down 36%. And I guess that's skewed by CM Punk's debut the week before.
I think so too.
But you'd think, knowing that he was going to be on again, you'd still think that something was going to happen.
Well, it's definitely been less exciting the more he's been on.
Well, yeah, I guess you get that initial pop and then it goes from there. And obviously, once we see All Out, and he got a bit physical this week, and then obviously he'll have a match and then it'll go from there. So it'll start working. Have you got anything else that you've heard in the news, Dill?
Yeah, there's a few things I've got. So Adam Cole's contract is definitely up with WWE, so he's now a free agent. There was a fun little spot on Dynamite earlier today where Britt Baker was talking about a massive AEW signing that she was going to announce. As we all know, she's the girlfriend of Adam Cole. They went to her backstage and she was talking about her own extended contract.
Yeah,
that was a nice little nod to the fans.
Yeah.
CM Punk has told everyone that AJ Lee will not be returning to the ring. She's had a few too many injuries, so don't expect to see AJ Lee. Tony Khan's been talking about doing an AEW show at Craven Cottage, Fulham's home stadium in England, which would be...
They own them, don't they?
They own, yes. The Khan family own Fulham. So
yeah,
that would be interesting to see.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I've got Braun Strowman, or as he's now known as Adam Scherr. He'll be returning to the ring for a special event, EC3's Free the Narrative event. So it's a bit of an interesting... Go and have a look at this Free the Narrative EC3 thing that he's got going on. It's an interesting kind of cinematically produced style wrestling.
Yeah, right.
Pretty interesting. What else do I have? The new Performance Center. The Performance Center has got 6 new recruits, including 2 interesting ones. One is Ben Buchanan, who's the son of former WWE wrestler Bull Buchanan. And geez, he looks a lot like him.
The old Right to Censor member?
He was a Right to Censor member, yes. There's another one, Bobby Stevenson, who's the brother of Gable Stevenson, who just won gold for the US in the Olympics.
Yeah, right.
But the main one we're looking at is Joseph Fatu. He's the son of Rikishi and the brother of Jay and Jimmy Uso. So
another Samoan named Joe.
Another Samoan named Joe.
How many do we need? But there you go. Yeah.
And another one to add to the bloodline eventually. So that's pretty interesting. I've got Roman Reigns hitting a full year as Universal Champion. Hasn't been pinned in over 600 days.
Wow, that's impressive.
A little bit of a fun fact: the last person to pin him was King Corbin at TLC in December 19. So the WWE draft reportedly going to take place in October, but we don't have any details on that yet.
That'll shake it up a bit.
Yeah, switching to All Out. There's been some news about All Out. So obviously Andrade Adolo and Pac has been scrapped from All Out. Pac's unable to get there due to travel issues. However, Andrade has said something on social media saying, "Who will my mystery opponent be?" So we could get another match out of it there. It's
a pretty big card already. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do if they squeeze another match in or...
It is. So originally the Women's Battle Royal was going to be on the undercut, on the buy-in event. But that's now been moved.
There's a 10-man tag, though, on the buy-in?
The 10-man tag will now be at the buy-in, the pre-show. There has also been multiple sources that have confirmed that Bryan Danielson will make his debut at All Out.
Run in somewhere?
So possibly. I just heard that he will join the TNT crew. So maybe if he just comes on for an interview, or one of those classic, he's in the audience, or I don't know. We'll find out. But that's starting to filter through, and I think that's the plan is to try and kind of affect buy rates by filtering that information through.
I think that diminishes it a little bit if he just sits in the crowd or does a backstage thing or something. Like, if you're going to do it, you may as well go all in and, well, pardon the pun. And there we go. Look, I've done it. But just smash it out, you know what I mean? Must help somebody or hurt somebody, you know what I mean? Cost somebody big time. To start a feud or something like that.
Well, originally it was thought he was going to be brought in for the show a little bit later at Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York, but looks like they're bringing it forward. So should be interesting. Another reason to watch All Out on Monday.
Arthur Ashe Stadium's currently underwater, so good luck to all those people over there in New York at the moment. That's struggling.
Not too much going on. Just waiting for the tennis to start again. So we actually got a bit of news out of this week. Managed to squeeze some blood from the stone.
It's always like us, mate. We just start talking and then we just keep going. We just keep spitballing, and that's how it ends up. So that's good. That's what the listeners love, mate. They love just us being straight off the cuff and having fun.
That's what the peeps want. We will now move on to talking about All Out. Now, this year's All Out will be the third All Out pay-per-view. It's considered one of AEW's big four, which includes Double or Nothing, Full Gear, and Revolution. So All Out 2021 will be the first AEW pay-per-view to be held outside of Jacksonville since the COVID pandemic hit. The first All Out also took place in Chicago in 2019, headlined by Chris Jericho and Hangman Adam Page in a match to crown the very first AEW World Champion, which Jericho won and became the first wrestler to hold all WCW, WWE, and AEW championships. So that was interesting there. In the second year of the event, it was headlined by Jon Moxley, who defended the AEW World Heavyweight Championship against MJF. However, that event's also known for Matt Hardy getting knocked unconscious after taking a spear from a scissor lift through a table onto concrete from Sammy Guevara.
That wasn't pretty.
That was not pretty. Now, as we all know, All Out, we're going to see the in-ring return of CM Punk. Punk's last time in a ring to compete was in the January 2014 Royal Rumble, where he lasted 49 minutes from the first entry spot, only to be eliminated from an already eliminated Kane. He famously walked out of Raw the next day.
That's a long time.
There we have it, All Out. We're ready to go. We're going to start with the buy-in, which is the pre-show, with a 10-man tag match. We've got Orange Cassidy, Best Friends, Chuck Taylor and Wheeler Yuta, and Jurassic Express against Matt Hardy, Private Party, and TH2.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, there's not too much going on in the lead up to this. A lot of these guys have been having run-ins after matches, and it's been getting very schmozzy between all these guys. But it should be a fun tag match anyway, especially with, I mean, I'm a big fan of Orange Cassidy. I know not everyone is.
Yeah, I can't really warm to him that much, but I'm a big fan of Jurassic Express. So, I mean,
anytime you got Jurassic Express in the ring, you're going to have a bit of fun.
Yeah, I'm really not liking this whole Matt Hardy character. Like he hasn't really done much. It's sort of stressful watching him when he's out there, really. He's sort of in between characters. I just don't know what he's doing.
He doesn't have much mobility. He doesn't have much mobility anyway. So, and then you put him in a suit.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, doesn't know what to do. But I think the team with Jurassic Express will go over here.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's a classic start to the pay-per-view. The faces are going to get the win. And Orange Cassidy, Best Friends, and Jurassic Express for me too.
Yeah.
So we then move on to the main card, and we've got the 21-woman Casino Battle Royale. Now, I won't go through all the names. It's basically every woman in AEW except for Britt Baker. And, you know, it's always interesting with these Casino Battle Royals because they have, you know, kind of the 20 entrants and then the last entrance called the Joker. And it's a bit of a surprise mystery person. So it'll be interesting to see who that is this year. I mean, there's been a few storylines around all the women in this match. Tay Conti's been feuding with Penelope Ford and the Bunny. Jade Cargill and Nyla Rose recently just attacked Thunder Rosa. And Red Velvet's had beef with Britt Baker. And there's a lot going on in the women's division. So this could go anywhere.
Yeah, definitely could. I think that Jade Cargill and is a scary prospect. And so is Nyla Rose. Like those two together are just very scary. So if they start teaming up in there, anything can happen. I personally think the momentum for me is with Anna Jay after today when she ran in. I think that's sort of warming to something there. Yeah. And then if she wins that, then obviously she'll have the momentum to go on.
I mean, my first thought was to say Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
She's a monster in the best way possible. But I just don't see this like a heel v heel, Cargill v Britt Baker thing happening. So my pick is going to be Tay Conti for this one.
Okay.
We then move on to Paul White versus QT Marshall. I don't know if you've seen Paul White's new kind of hoodie get up, and it says "No more BS."
Yeah, right.
A little nod to the Big Show, which is pretty funny. Now, this all started from QT attacking Tony Schiavone's son, which is Paul White's broadcast colleague. He decided to return to the ring to take on Marshall. White today fought off QT and the Factory on Dynamite. He got some help from the Gun Club, and Billy Gunn turned on him, hit him with a chair, and then everyone came back in and beat the living bejesus out of him.
He was out there looking like Seth Rollins for a second. Old Billy Gunn. It looked good.
So we've got odds for this one, actually. Paul is paying $1.13, QT Marshall $5. And I think I'm going to go with the favorite on this one.
Gamble responsibly.
Well, originally I thought White in a squash match, but now with Billy turning on him, I think there's going to be some schmozzy stuff going on, but I still think he's going to get the win.
I think they'll just he'll end up beating them all off, and that came out wrong. Sorry about that. He will dominate against all of them, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so too. We then move on to a singles match. We've got Jon Moxley against Satoshi Kojima. So to give you all a bit of a backstory on who Kojima is, if you don't know, he's a former IWGP heavyweight champion from New Japan. Also worked for a long time in All Japan. He's 50, but he's still a great wrestler. He had several matches on Impact earlier this year. Moxley put out a challenge to anyone from New Japan who had the balls to take him on. And that was taken up by Kojima, who, he's a little bit older. And Moxley did call him a crazy ass old man at one point.
I'm surprised you said 50. When I seen a picture, I was like, oh, he's got to be old.
It's only 50.
Okay.
So I mean, he's a legend in Japan. So
yeah. Not for long. Moxley, easy.
Moxley, easy. I mean, I've got Mox as well. I think they'll have a decent match, but I don't think a win for Kojima does anything for anyone.
Nah. But Mox sells well and stuff like that as well, though. Like he can take a bit of a beat down and then the comeback, and so I think that's sort of what he'll do. And
I think for a bit of crossover, maybe they're doing a lot more sales in Japan.
Well, they're doing heaps of crossover. That's the good part about AEW. They're crossing over with all these other competitors. Well, they're not even competitors, really, are they? So
what do they call it? The hidden door.
Yeah,
hidden door policy. So that's good. So next up, we've got the AEW TNT Championship match. We've got Miro, the champion, taking on Eddie Kingston. Miro's been undefeated in singles action since joining AEW. Eddie Kingston kind of taken offense to Miro calling himself God's chosen one and some of his attacks on Fuego del Sol. So he's decided he's going to take a shot at Miro's title.
Yeah, I'm a big Miro fan. I love Miro. So.
I don't see Eddie Kingston breaking his streak. As fun as Eddie Kingston is, I don't think so.
Could this be Bryan Danielson's opportunity? Come in here and
I'd
help out there and then go up against Miro.
I didn't think about that. That's interesting.
For the title, that wouldn't be too bad.
That is very interesting. So yes, definitely Miro for that one.
Yeah.
Now I've got the one which could possibly steal the show. The AEW Tag Team Championship match. Inside a steel cage, we've got the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. Now, at the first All Out, the Lucha Brothers actually defeated the Bucks for the AAA World Tag Team Championship in a ladder match. And 2 years on, we've got the same teams, different titles, different match. So Lucha Brothers got their shot by winning a tag team eliminator tournament to face the Bucks. And just recently, the entire Elite trapped them inside a cage with Christian Cage and just beat them down.
Yeah. The only thing I wish this match was if it was a triple threat, so you had the Jurassic Express in there as well. That would have been amazing. Like if that last qualifying match had gone to like a no contest and then they made it a triple threat tag team.
That match was incredible. I still can't get over it.
Yeah. They always are. Like both those teams are amazing. And then obviously these guys are just going to go up a level. I think this is definitely the one that will steal the show.
Yeah, this will be great. Now, I mean, I don't see the Lucha Brothers beating the Bucks for the titles. I feel like if the titles didn't go to Jurassic Express a few weeks ago, I don't think Lucha Brothers are going to take them off them here. I think the Bucks are too good as heel champions. Like, you just love to hate them. So
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's ready to step up. And I think if someone does, it will be Jurassic Express eventually.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing. So yeah, Bucks go over for me as well.
We then have the AEW Women's Championship match. We've got Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, versus Chris Statlander. Now, not much lead up here other than Baker adding Jamie Hayter to her stable. Statlander's been on a bit of a roll though. So this will be an interesting one. I mean, Statlander's a fun talent. She's, pretty athletic, pretty strong. So I think we'll get a good match out of him.
Yeah, I think so too. But Britt Baker's just too good, I think.
Yeah, I agree on that one too.
But it's just without the build up and stuff. Because I haven't watched that much AEW and stuff like that, so I've only seen bits and pieces and stuff like that. So I can only go off what I've seen. I just think Britt Baker will be too good, and I think with a little bit more, if she does go over in a different sort of a way, Chris might still be able to come back and have another chance. But if they have a good match, then obviously anything can happen. You know what I mean?
I mean, Statlander's an interesting one. Her gimmick is that she thinks she's an alien or not from Earth. So
there's a few of those out there, Jill.
I don't know if that's a gimmick you want to give the title to. So I think Britt
definitely
Baker's
not getting the title.
I think there's a lot. Nothing against Statlander, but I think there's better challenges out there for Britt Baker.
Which we've already mentioned a few of them that'll be in the
That's
Royale,
right.
So
next up, we have the final fight. Chris Jericho's career on the line. MJF versus Chris Jericho. Jericho has gone 0-3 against MJF in recent months. Had to go through the labors of Jericho facing Sean Spears, Juvi Guerrera, Nick Gage, and Wardlow in order to get to the last match with MJF, which he ended up losing and tapping out to. So he decided to put his career on the line for one more match.
Yeah, I think he goes over. I think he wins this time. But this whole thing that he meant to be going to the broadcast desk or whatever else, I don't know. Is that really what they want him there? I don't know.
It's a swerve. It's a swerve for sure.
Jericho. The only thing I can think is if Fozzy are going on tour.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we should check the tour.
If Fozzy's going on tour, then he could lose, and then that's why he's going to be out, and then he'll come back in a year's time, or you know how he always does it, reinvent himself again.
I mean, I don't see him losing this one.
No,
putting his career on the line. This has been building for so long. We've been waiting for so long for this payoff of Jericho finally beating MJF.
Yeah,
I think this is going to be it.
Fingers crossed. Anyway, I can't stand MJF.
He's doing his job there.
Again, he's doing his job. It seems to be the running thing with me. Everybody that I hate are doing a really good job. So pay them some more.
We now have the match that everyone's come to see. CM Punk versus Darby Allin, being accompanied by Sting. Definitely the most anticipated match of the night. We all saw the return. Saw CM Punk telling us that he wanted to test himself against the best, against Darby Allin, that a 15-year-old Punk would have loved Darby Allin. And, Allin and Sting watching him from the rafters. When Punk was attacked on Dynamite by 2.0 and Daniel Garcia, Allin and Sting came down for the save. And then we saw Punk give his first go to sleep in 7 years. And then Punk and Allin stared each other down. So we do have odds for this one too. We've got CM Punk at $1.10, Darby Allin at $6.
Wow, $1.10. I guess he can't lose his comeback match, can he?
I mean, I was surprised. I thought if ever there was a time where an older guy might put over a younger guy, but there's just been too much build up to this. So as it's in Chicago, it's kind of hard to see Punk losing in Chicago.
Wow, yeah. It'd be a good swerve if he didn't. Imagine that. Like if Darby Allin goes over clean, like that'd be crazy.
That would be huge. So. I mean, as much as I'd like to say Darby Allin, I don't think...
No, you wouldn't. You want CM Punk for sure.
I do want him to win. As much as I'd like the $6 on Darby Allin.
Oh, yeah. Well, gamble responsibly.
Yeah, gamble responsibly. But yeah, hard to see Punk losing that one.
Yeah, I completely agree. Should be a great match, though. As we've talked about it a few times now. So
it's going to be interesting to see what his ring shape's like, CM Punk.
Yeah, I think he looks pretty fit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure he still trains with Rufus Sport in Milwaukee in his MMA gym. So
yeah,
I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, I agree.
We then have the main event, AEW World Championship match, Kenny Omega taking on Christian Cage. Now, the story about this is kind of built around Kenny Omega's manager, Don Callis, who originally hired, then fired Christian in Winnipeg when he was getting him started. And the story being that he was preventing him from being booked to favor a then 10-year-old Kenny Omega. So Christian recently took Omega's Impact World Championship on Rampage, taking another belt away from the belt collector. And he's been undefeated since joining AEW, saying he's going to outwork everyone and he wants titles. So on Dynamite, he got trapped in a cage by the entire Elite, and Omega and the Bucks delivered a triple BTE trigger to him. So he copped it on Dynamite, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So we do have odds for this one too. Kenny Omega paying $1.17. Christian paying $4.50.
Some juicy odds there. Some juicy odds. I'd love to see Christian win. We're both a couple of peeps from back in the day, but you can't see Omega losing another title, can you?
I can.
Really?
My pick for this one is Christian. So hear me out. Omega's been great, and I feel like it's a big show with CM Punk. They'll want a Hollywood ending, right? I feel like if Christian loses this feud is done. But I think they can get more out of it if they give Christian the title and have Omega then trying to get it back.
Okay.
That's my thoughts anyway.
Mate, we're all entitled to your opinion. You're wrong, but I mean, you're entitled to it.
Well, that's where my $4.50 odds will be going to. We'll try that one out.
No, I'll be cheering it on for you.
I appreciate it. So that is it for the All Out card. Now we get to the fun part. It is our 3-count draft special, AEW versus WWE card. Now we're going to draft 5 matches where we're going to pit AEW versus WWE talent, much like WWE did with the Invasion pay-per-view back in the day, with the aim of having the best AEW versus WWE card. Now, we'll put them up on the socials, and you can tell us which card you'd like to see more, what matches you think we should have drafted. We've got some rules, though. So we're going to draft from the bottom of the card up. So from our opening match of the pay-per-view, we're going to draft first and go up from there, build up to the main event. We cannot draft the same talent in a match. So we can't have the exact same participants in a match. We've got to have at least 1 tag team match and 1 women's match. We can draft any type of match with any stipulation we want. And I believe, Benny, you get to draft first.
Yes. This is the best day of my life. All right, to open the card of this great invasion, we're going to have a Shield street fight between Moxley, Reigns, and Rollins.
Shield street fight. Okay, I like it.
That's how we're opening the card.
Very nice. That's gonna get the crowd popping. So you're gonna have Roman Reigns on the opening match of the card.
Yeah, grudge match, Shield street fight. They hate each other. That's how we're doing it.
Okay, I like it. Well, I'm starting off mine with I'm getting as much talent as I can into the ring with my first match of the night. We're gonna have a 10-man tag team elimination match.
Wow.
Very Survivor Series style. Now we're gonna have the Inner Circle. So we've got Chris Jericho, Jack Hager, Sammy Guevara, and Santana and Ortiz on one side. I'm going to have the New Day and RK Bro on the other side.
Okay. Aren't you missing? Oh, no. So Big E as well, right?
Big E as well.
All 3 members of the New Day. I like it.
All 3 members of the New Day. We're going to get some star power into that first match and have Jericho kind of going back against some of his old friends.
Nice. Okay. Second match on the card. It's just going to be a straight up singles match. Best versus the best. Heel versus heel. Charlotte Flair versus Britt Baker. But Ric Flair is going to be in the corner of Britt Baker.
Oh, look
so
out.
The dirtiest player in the game is teaching DMD, and it's going to be on singles match, just straight up, because the crowd's already going to be high. They're just going to have a singles match, and it's just going to sort of level them out. But it's going to be a real good match.
Okay, nice. I like it. Well, I'm going with the women as well for my second match on the card. I'm going with a fatal 4-way match. Now we've got Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Britt Baker, and Jade Cargill. So I want to see that moment when Becky gets thrown out, Britt Baker
Yeah.
gets thrown out, and Charlotte and Cargill just come face to face.
100%. Like I literally had that written down as well, but I took them out. So there you go. We're lucky. We did have something in common.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I think that'd be a great match. All right, match number 3. We're going to lift up the intensity again. We're going to have the Young Bucks versus the Usos versus 2 members of the New Day, Kofi and Woods, versus the Lucha Brothers in a TLC match.
Ooh, okay.
That's our next match.
Yeah. That's huge. I was a bit worried there. You almost had my next match. But that will be huge. That will be huge. So I've kind of gone along those lines, but I haven't gone as heavy on the stipulation as you have. Now I've got the Young Bucks just taking on the Usos, heel v heel in a ladder match. Nice. Find out who the best brothers are.
Nice, I like it. That'd be good. Not as good as the TLC with mine, but I mean,
that's true.
It's all right. It's all right.
We'll see.
All right, now the big one. These last 2 matches, I was going to flip them around. I didn't know which way to do them, and now I'm sort of a bit worried. But you've already used some people here, so I don't know how I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to roll the dice. No, I'm not. I'm going to save that other match for the end. All right. So my next match is a fatal 4-way. This should have been the main event, but anyway, Kenny Omega versus Edge versus CM Punk versus AJ Styles.
Wow, that's gonna be pretty big.
Yeah, that was going to be the main event. So then, but that's a fatal 4-way. Those 4 there, they're all a bit older. We all know that, but they can all put on a match. You can't have a bad match with any of them. So that'll be a brilliant match.
Now, I feel like for my last 2, it's still going to be a co-main event because I couldn't separate. I couldn't separate these 2, but the match I'm first going to go with, it's going to be a 1-hour Iron Man match.
Nice.
We're going to have Seth Rollins taking on Kenny Omega.
Yeah, nice. I like it. Not as good as my fatal 4-way, but I like it.
We'll see. I think those guys would put on an incredible match, and to have them kind of because they're such good storytellers in the ring as well. Yeah. As well as being incredibly athletic. So I think they could do a 1-hour match and have it be awesome.
You just know, though, that it's going to come down. It's going to be a draw after the time runs out. Then it's going to be an extra time and someone's going to win 1 second to go.
Possibly.
All right. Last match. This is the big one to finish it all off. We're going to have an Elimination Chamber match. See, I've gone gimmick. I had to go gimmick hard. We've got MJF, Miro, Jericho, and Christian, Drew, Lashley, Brock, and Randy Orton.
Wow. It's a lot of big dudes.
That's some big meat in that Elimination Chamber, man.
You're going to have to increase the size of those Elimination Chamber boxes.
The pods are going to have to be a bit bigger. So
very nice. That's a big main event. Now, I've gone a little bit more simple with mine. Mine is just a simple singles match.
Wow.
We have
you versus me. Game on. Let's go.
Maybe. I think we'll be lucky if we make the undercard. I've got arguably the 2 biggest names in wrestling at the moment. Now, this was a hard choice because I've left a lot of people off who probably should have made the card. I don't have any Lesnar on my card. I don't have one of the champions, Bobby Lashley, on my card. Which is, The Rock and Stone Cold just got knocked over.
They're into it.
They're into it. So my main event is CM Punk taking on Roman Reigns.
It's a big match.
Now, hear me out. I think they do an incredible match. But what I'm most looking forward to is the promos leading up to this match. Because Reigns has picked up his promo game, and he's one of the best in the business now. And the kind of shoot style promos that these 2 could have together would just be amazing.
No, I think, it definitely would be. Paul Heyman added in there as well, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, CM Punk's a Paul Heyman guy.
Exactly, yeah. Does make it a little bit more interesting.
Very interesting.
I think your card's really good, but it's nothing compared to mine, mate. Sorry.
We'll say I've gone a little bit more traditional, I think, with my card. I think yours is too gimmicky.
Yeah, that's what I just give the crowd what they want.
Well, you've certainly jam-packed the talent into that last match, that's for sure.
Definitely. I had heaps more people to
What missed the cut? Do you have any that missed the cut?
not really missed the cut. I was just going to mix them up if you had have named somebody else. So I was going to add Becky Lynch and then a few of the other girls into that match and just make it a 6-way or something like that. I was going to add Jurassic Express or Street Profits in if you had a 4-way tag match. Who else? Oh, people like Riddle, Balor, Malachi Black, those kind of like plenty of names that I've left out.
Yeah, it was really, really hard to fit it all into 5 matches. I hated that I didn't have Jurassic Express on my card. I really wanted Orange Cassidy versus AJ Styles. I thought that would be a fun match because his not caring would just piss AJ off so much. Also, Cody Rhodes and The Miz, I thought would put on an interesting match. Obviously,
I've got both of them written down, but yeah, not as a match.
I mean, you could go with the Christian v Edge, but it's been done. What else did I have on there? KO and Miro.
Oh yeah,
I think they put on a fun match. So they were some of the ones that missed out for me.
Yeah, well, I've got you covered, so it's all good.
All right. Well, do you want to go through your card again?
All right. So opening the show, we've got a Shield street fight: Moxley, Reigns, and Rollins. That'll be interesting. Next up, it's Charlotte Flair versus Britt Baker with Ric Flair in her corner. Straight up singles match. Next match, we have a TLC of the Young Bucks, Usos, New Day, and Lucha Brothers. Then we have Kenny Omega versus Edge versus CM Punk versus AJ Styles in a fatal 4-way. And then the last match of the card, the main event, Elimination Chamber of MJF, Miro, Jericho, Christian, Drew, Lashley, Brock, and Randy Orton.
Interesting. And my card goes with starting off with a 10-man elimination match, the Inner Circle versus New Day and RK Bro. We've then got a fatal 4-way between Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Britt Baker, and Jade Cargill. Then we go into a ladder match between the Young Bucks and the Usos, followed by a 1-hour Iron Man match between Seth Rollins and Kenny Omega, with our main event being CM Punk versus Roman Reigns.
There we go.
I think we did pretty well. That was a fun exercise, that one. I really enjoyed going through that.
The first day, I did it the first day and I just smashed it out, and then I've changed it around a little bit since then. But
I've been thinking about it for days.
Yeah, because I think if I thought about it too much, I'd start changing too much, making different matches and all that kind of stuff. So I just went, what I had in my mind to start off, I'm just sticking with, and that's it.
Didn't change things on the fly like Vince would.
No, well, exactly. Let's just stop mid-match and we'll change.
So it was fun. Look, that's it for our all-out preview. Thank you for joining it. As I mentioned, we'll post our fantasy draft cards to the socials. You tell us who has the best cards and what matches you think maybe would have been better.
Yeah, tell us.
We'd be really interested to see what everyone's matches would have been. We'll be back next week to review All Out, look at what's happening in the world of professional wrestling. Make sure you hit us up on the socials at 3CountPod on Twitter and Facebook, at 3Count Podcast on Instagram, or email us, 3countpod@outlook.com. Benny, once again, thanks for your time.
Pleasure as always, Dylan.
Enjoy the return of CM Punk and All Out on Monday, and we'll see you next time on the 3Count Podcast.